Hello again, everyone. Just going over a little video on how to do your spark plug change on your MT-07 FC07. This is a 2019 model. I'm sure it should be similar for the previous generation as well. Right about 8,000 miles, so it calls for a spark plug check and replacement. This will also be a good time to do your air filter and oil change as well. Wasn't able to do all this on film since I only got my cell phone and no tripod or anything, but the to get to your spark plugs takes maybe 15-20 minutes. It's not terribly difficult. First thing you'll need to do, try to do this in sequence. First, take off the rear passenger seat. Then you can give you access to these two bolts here, which will take off your main seat. After that, you have. I also try to do this without taking as few bolts out as possible. So you have your tank shroud, but then you have these plastic pieces in front of it. You'll be taking off this bolt here. You take that off on either side. And then there's also, let's see. So you take off that bolt there, and then on the tank shroud, it sits just on top of the radiator. You have this bolt here. So you undo that one. That will allow you to remove the black part of this outer tank shroud part. That will give you access to this bolt here. And then you'll have the two bolts on top of the tank that you undo, these ones here. That'll allow you to take the larger part of the tank shroud off. After that, you have you have two sensors to undo. There's 4 things total. You'll have a sensor here that goes to the front of the tank. You have a sensor underneath this guy here, which will be right next to the fuel line. And then you have the 2 vacuum hoses that go on the other underside of the tank. Referencing another video, discovered that you don't have to disconnect the main fuel line going to the tank. After you have those connections undone, there's 5 bolts you need to undo to remove the tank. You have 2, let's see, they look like this. You'll have 4 of these on either side to undo. And then this bolt runs through there. You undo that one. Once those 5 things are undone, carefully wiggle the tank. It was a little bit of a snug fit down here, but you gently wiggle the tank off and then turn it counterclockwise, and you can let it rest here. Just being careful that you don't pinch the sensor that you disconnected or the fuel line, that you're not pulling on anything. But I found that it does fit quite securely, just resting on the bike like this. That gives you pretty good access to your spark plugs at this time. On the left side, or the clutch side, I did disconnect this sensor here just to kind of give you a little more room to work with for this side. Hard to see on here, but the other spark plug sits right in there. This one was a little more snug, but still pretty easy to access. I was able to remove both of the coil packs from the brake or the throttle side of the bike. So the coils were a little bit snug in there, but use gentle, firm twisting upward motion, and you'll be able to wiggle them out. To remove your actual spark plugs, you'll need a 14 millimeter deep well socket. Again, access it. You use a swivel just to kind of help out a little bit, and an extension, and I just went in through the top on either side. Had the replacement plugs here on the right. These are after 8,000 miles. That's with a full Yoshi exhaust as well, so at least to me it seems like the ECU was compensating pretty well for that. There's no ECU flash or power commander or anything just yet. These are just the OEM replacements, the NGK LMAR 8A-9. I gapped those already. Manual calls for 0.031 to 0.035 inches of clearance. Put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads, not much, and tighten down to the specifications. And everything is just reverse order. So again, just to get the spark plugs out, probably took about 30 minutes. A pretty easy bike to work on, if I do say so myself. So again, just remember that this 8,000 mile service, check your air filter, change your oil in your filter, and keep on going. Thanks guys, bye.